Gather up your projects, settle in your favorite spot. It's time to stitch with Sarah at her stitchy Camelot. Let's celebrate each other, this community we've got. It's time to get down to Sarah's stitchy spot.
Hello everyone, my name is Sarah. Welcome to my FlossTube channel, where we will discuss and celebrate all things cross-stitch. Grab your favorite beverage, get comfortable, and join me
at Sarah's stitchy spot.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and this is FlossTube number 55. It is Wednesday, August the 14th, almost mid-August, 2024, and I would like to take this moment to welcome each and every one of you to my FlossTube channel. As I do at the beginning of every video, I send love, hugs, and kisses to my husband Stan for writing and performing the intro song that you just heard. If you are new to this FlossTube channel, welcome. I hope you will like what you see, that you will share, subscribe, ring the bell, like, and do all the things that we do on FlossTube. And for all of my returning viewers, it is so wonderful to see you again. And just because of the Zoom, now when I say see you again, I've seen some of you, so it's been very exciting, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. I have a little bit of everything to go through as usual. In fact, I've got this desk so covered that it's not going to surprise me if I forget something. But you know, we'll just, like I say, hold each other's hands, jump off the cliff, and we'll see what happens. So I do want to start the video on a sad note, and I know many of you know this, but I just felt compelled to share with you my feelings for our loss of Daleen Wilson. Daleen had a wonderful FlossTube called So Grateful, and she was just a ray of sunshine. I enjoyed her videos so much, and it is one of the things that makes me very, very angry about back, several months, it could have even been a year ago, when my original Instagram was hacked. I had some wonderful private messages that Daleen and I had shared back and forth, and I'm really angry that I lost those, and I couldn't go back and read them. She was always encouraging, always so happy. And so I want to share one thing. If you watched her, you probably heard this, but just something that we might tuck away and think about to do in her honor. On her birthday one year, she I think she probably gave food to the food bank a lot, but this particular year, she made these little kits with a box of cake mix and icing and sprinkles and napkins and the paper plates and the whole, just a kit that a mother could go into a food bank, or a sister or a husband or a wife, and come out and be able to make a birthday cake for their loved one. And I don't know why that touched me so much, but that was what her heart was. So maybe you can tuck that idea away, and on your birthday, make a few kits and take them to your local food bank in honor of Daleen. There is also going to be a stitch along for Daleen, and it was called #Stitching with Daleen, and you could just pick a pattern and stitch with her. I am completely blanking now on the FlossTube that I was watching that gave that information, but I have chosen this pattern that I bought from Daleen Dion Designs that says "Make Someone Happy," which is what Daleen did. So I plan to kit this up and probably put it in my happy hour rotation to in honor of Daleen. So you will be missed. You were, I think, you know, the sun lost one of its rays for sure. So anyway, I just wanted to make sure that I shared that with you guys. So next, I want to talk about the Zoom and give you the next 10 people that I selected with the random picker thingy, whatever it is. If I try to say it, I just can't. And we've had 2 now, and I want to thank all of you that have participated. It has absolutely meant the world to me to look on that screen and not see my face back, but to see your faces. We have had lovely discussions, sharing our stitching. I have been asking a FlossTuber each time to be our special surprise FlossTuber, and you won't know who it is until the day. But I neglected to mention that the first surprise FlossTuber was Judy, a stitching bunny, and then this past Sunday when we did it, it was Karen of KBH Stitching. And I think everyone enjoys, you know, meeting another FlossTuber, and it's just a nice mix. So I'm going to give you now the 10 names, okay, that I just selected, and you know that I will put them in the drop-down box below as well. So they are MaryAnnArnold, Deborah Brandenberger 7240, Inez Maria 652, Colleen McClellan 5467, Clare Kalantar, Linnell's 242, Ann Evans 6035, A Free Spirit 1, Liz Florum 6021, and Kara Ponder 7893. So if your name was called, if you will please go in the drop-down box and fill out the Google form so that I will have your email so I can send you the link for the invitation. Then we can get that started. And the next Zoom will be 8/25, which is a Sunday, and it'll be 12 to approximately 2. They've been running about 2 hours comfortably on a Pacific Standard Time. So that's our next group, and I'll be very excited to meet all of you. I think they've been going really well, and I hope everyone has been enjoying them as much as I have. So that was the Zoom. Okay, let's do the shout outs first. Okay, I have, I think, 3 shout outs and a couple of things that I wanted to mention. And the first shout out is Danielle of Craft D Stitches. I think she has 3 videos, and she is a mother of 3, and she stitches a wide range of cross stitch patterns, and she is a delight to watch. And so I hope you will all go over and subscribe and show her our wonderful community. And the next one that I think a lot of you have been hearing about, but I'm not going to not shout her out, is Jamie, Professor History. She is Professor of History, and she stitches beautiful samplers, and her stitching is gorgeous. So I encourage you to go over and say hi to Jamie and subscribe. And then I wanted to mention, this is not a new FlossTuber, but it was someone that I think that because of all the talk and the things on FlossTubes about the big stitch in England, that Sami of Little Loop Stitching, as I understand it, was one of the coordinators of this wonderful event that had Jacob, and I know you've seen pictures of Christina from Whilst Iris Naps, and Michelle from Mama Loves You GB, and Carrie, and from Roxy Roxy Flosco, and Caroline from Evertotes, and many, many more that were there. But I think that if I understood it right, Sami is one of the coordinators of this very successful event. She has a floss tube, and it's called Little Loop Stitching, and of course I will put the link to that below. But one of the things that I realized when I watched it, she did her most recent video with Deb. And again, you guys, please feel free to correct me. I think Deb and Sami are designing charts, and they have some beautiful, beautiful charts, and I will put the link to those below. But they're doing, and the company is the Old Barn Stitching Company, and they're doing a seasonal stitch along, which is free. And this is the autumn patterns, and they just really struck me. They are so cute. And so I immediately went and downloaded that, and I wanted to make you all aware, but also to be aware of all the beautiful samplers that they have. In the last video, they showed several original samplers that they've acquired, and I'm sure we'll plan to chart out. So please go over, and that's Little Loops Stitching. That sounds wrong, but anyway, Little Loop Stitching, and give them a hello, and go check this designer out. Okay, so I have that, and then I wanted to just mention a floss tube. Floss tube number 82 is listed under Sarah of Sew Me Sarah, and it's Sarah and Sally together, and Sally is a Flossy Sews and Grows, and they have been doing a 50 starts to celebrate the year of their 50th birthday. And it has been just wonderful. But to see the two of them together and the friendship that has grown between them, and coordinating this monumental task of doing 50 new starts. You know, I have brought up FlossTubes before, where I love the interaction and the friendship between two people. And so I know you all watch them, but it was just a particular floss tube that I think is not to be missed. So I wanted to mention that. And then I was watching Carol Saltbox Stitcher, which is always just so much inspiration, and she was showing a lot of blackbirds, and she showed a chart for Autumn Bouquet, which is a blackbird design, and oh my goodness, it was just gorgeous. It's out of print, but it's just wonderful still to know what some of those out of print charts are if you want to look for those. And I'm sorry I don't have a picture of it, but Carol is always inspiring. I did just recently also watch Katie Strachan. I just don't, you know, Katie is, she's just in a world of her own, and just to be able to see what she stitched, even if I never will stitch that, I told her just fills my heart with joy. So those are just some of the mentions that I wanted to do today. So we've done those. So now we will go to shares, and we have some fabulous shares. I just want to get everything organized here. I'm going to take a little drink of water. Okay, so let's jump in. So the first one is from Renee, and this is Christmas Traditions from Designs for the Needle. And she got the pattern, as I understand it, from her sister in 1994, and she started it in 1995, and she has just finished it. And she also made note in her email that the piece that is behind her, behind the piece in there, was a sampler that was stitched by her sister. So it's just, we can't get enough Christmas right now because that ball has started rolling and it won't stop until December 25th. So thank you, Renee, for sending that. Catherine sent her finish of Florence Mary Dickinson. And Judy, we can't get enough of seeing those, can we? It is on a 46 count cream brulee by Tabby Cat, and she's using the called for 103 silks. And she also sent her finish of the Smith sampler by the Scarlet House, which you will see in a few minutes by me, or my work on it. And she stitched this on a 46 count Lakeside in autumn gold with the called for silks. So Catherine, thank you for taking the time to send those. Thank you for knowing that they will be inspiration for all of us, but particularly for me in my stitching. The next piece is Tammy, and she sent two of the Prairie Schooler Santas fully finished that I have stitched. I don't have the information on the fabric or the floss, but the finishes are very inspiring for me, as you will see in a minute. I have a couple that I'm going to be needing to do. So next we have Desiree, and she finished this. She labeled it as a kit from Historische Stickmuster. She stitched this while she watched the Olympics. I loved following her progress particularly on Facebook, I think. And she stitched this on a 36 count white linen with a Versoix silk. And it is finished. So I think she started it with the Olympics and finished it with the Olympics. So congratulations, Desiree. It's a beautiful piece. The next piece is from Allison, and Allison was at our second Zoom stitching meetup. And this is Angler Fisher Mom by Mama Witch Cross Stitch, X Stitch. And this is just, it just made me laugh. So it's a good inspiration for some Halloween stitching. She stitched it on a mystery fabric, and she used the called for colors. Next, we have Jean, and she sent in Marriage by My Big Toe, and it's stitched on 32 count needle bling in the color Heirloom with the called for floss. And this was a gift for her friend's 50th wedding anniversary. It was framed by House of Color in Countryside, Illinois. And I think that Jean will be having her 50th wedding anniversary, I believe October, she said. So congratulations, Jean. And then her second piece was Bright, Merry and Bright, which you saw in my last FlossTube, by Cottage Garden Samplings, and the fabric is a 32 count Dove. She wasn't sure, it was either a 32 count Dove by Weeks Dye Works or Eucalyptus by Fox and Rabbit, and she used the called for floss. So you guys know that this is one of my favorites, and are probably tired of me saying how stitch heavy they are, but they are certainly glorious when finished. So thank you, Jean, for sending that. And then the final share today is from Tessa, and it is Autumn Splendor by Brenda Gervais. She stitched this on a 40 count linen, sorry, let's start over. She stitched this on the called for 40 count linen and used the called for floss, but this was her first mattress finish. And so I have expressed some interest in doing both a mattress finish and a biscornu. I'm hoping, I don't know if it'll happen this year, but certainly next year. I would like to say that I've done a couple of those. So anyway, those are our shares. So isn't it just wonderful to be able to see what other people are stitching, to get ideas, to see how fabric works with floss? And again, don't hesitate to send your pieces in. I did have one of the Zoom stitchers mention in the last Zoom that because she generally stitches by herself and she doesn't have friends that stitch, that she doesn't have really anyone to show her stitching to that would appreciate it like we would. And if you're in that boat or you just want to share it, please don't hesitate to send those, and I'll put them up so that we can all ooh and ah over them as what should be done. So, okay, so those are the shares. I've done the shout outs. I was going to show you my book of days. I've kind of gone in the black and white ephemera. I think this is the Tim Holtz. I have a little machine, a little doodad that puts a sticky on the back of these, and so I just made them into stickers. So that is my not my book of days, but you know, my planner. I know I mentioned to a lot of you that I did go and spend some time with Eva and Vince last weekend, and of course that was just wonderful. Eva and I have both been working on Vince with sign language. I had completed 3 semesters of sign language back when I was 60, which isn't that funny? You would think that, but that was 12 years ago. And he is just, he's just exploding with, he can do I want and please and more. And I showed him the sign for dog, which I can't really do because you can't really see it. But and it just made those wonderful giggles come. So we had a wonderful visit, as always. And I will probably have put a couple of pictures across while I was talking. So let's, I think we could jump into stitching. So I have one new start, I have a finish, and then we'll do the whips. But as you guys know, my plans for August and September was to try to work on my samplers. I was going to start 4 samplers, and then or 4 pieces, and then I read off the list of the 10 samplers, which I don't have right in front of me, that I plan to work on in August and September. So this is the calendar for August. So August, and I'll show you in a minute, I gave 3 days to the new start for garden sampler, and then of course Sundays are wiped out because that's Vince's stocking, and then I went into the 3 days for the Smith sampler, 3 days for Sarah Mil Thorp, and then the last 3 days I have been working on Turgi and Gerchi by Modern Folk Embroidery, which I will be showing you with my whips. So that is what's been going on with that. So my finish was the second of the Santas. So I showed you this one last time, and I finished the Santa with the walking cane. And this is from book number 215, and it's a Merry Mini Surprise. So, and those were, I'm pretty sure, the 2 that you saw that were completed by, who did that? It was Tammy. And these are stitched on 36 count Murky with the called for DMC floss. They're just so cute. So I'm thinking I'm going to kind of do a flat type of ornament finish on these. That's kind of my thought. Not pillows because they're a little small. So that was my my finish. Then my new start was Garden Sampler by Carriage House Designs. And I am starting this to give to my middle daughter, Allison, who she and Andrew and Mira have been doing a lot of gardening over the last 3 summers and growing a lot of their own vegetables. They have chickens, and I buy my eggs from them. So this is sort of just to celebrate what they've been doing to be self-sustaining. So I love stitching on it. I am stitching this on a 40 count doubloon. These are some of the flosses. I have more that I haven't put on FlossTubes yet. I generally put them on the FlossTubes. I generally put them on the floss drops as they're called for. And this is in this beautiful bag that I got from Joyful Stitching that I won several years ago from Sheri, Colorado cross stitcher. Okay, so this is what I have done so far. So look at the ant. Oh my God, I love that ant. So I got the A and the B and the greenery and the, I think that's a butterfly, and the acorn. I have to admit I'm really loving stitching on 40 count. And I did buy this piece of 40 count to balloon by Picture This Plus. So it was my first new start, and this is also the new start for August cross stitch camp with the Colorado cross stitcher, because I have never stitched on a carriage house sampling. So that was a first for me, a first time to stitch with that designer. So that was my new start. So I think we'll go into whips. You know what I just realized? I didn't bring the second laundry basket. Cannot function without two. So I'll be right back. Hi. Okay, let's look at some whips, shall we? Okay, my first one was, I think, my new start from last time, which is Sewn in Friendship by Heartstrings Samplery. I have mentioned to you all that I want to always keep a 1/1 piece going. This is going to be on a 25 count mushroom Lugana. And I do want to branch out and maybe try a 28, maybe a 32. But this is, I'm using I'm using some of the called for, and then I'm substituting DMC. And this is what I have done so far. And again, look how sweet. I just adore those little stitches. So I mentioned to you guys, this is not supposed to be green. It's supposed to be white. I did not realize that until almost all of that was in. So it's staying. I guess I personalized it for me. Not because I'm crazy about green or anything. But anyway, that is Sewn in Friendship. This, for those of you that may be new and you hear me use the word happy hour project, I do a morning stitch, I do an afternoon stitch, and then I have a stitch from about 5 to 7. And so someone suggested, and I completely agreed, that that's my happy hour stitch. But that allows me to do work on, some different projects. I have found something about myself with this rotation that I am doing right now, trying to work on these samplers for 3 days straight. It's a little hard for me. I typically sometimes would work on something in the morning, something in the afternoon, and I know I'm getting good progress done and I want to keep doing it, but I probably won't, after September is finished, I probably won't do it quite like that. I will continue to have one focus piece, which I will show you, which will get 7 days in the month, but to work 3 straight days on a piece is a little hard for me. I like to flit like a hummingbird, I guess. Oh, can I just tell you guys one thing? Because you all were so sweet about the noise last time. But because the front deck, that was where my hummingbird feeders were. And they had to be moved to the back. And I was getting nothing like the number that I would get in the spring. And guys, I moved the 2 feeders to the back off the deck. I am going through 8 cups of sugar. Yeah, 4 and 4. A day in each hummingbird feeder. So again, it's almost a full-time job, but I absolutely love it. They just, Sarah, Sarah, I think of you so much every time I look at them. But anyway, so I know that is way off topic, but you guys know I love my hummingbirds. So, all right. The next one, speaking of focus piece, this is it. It is Oh Joyous Day by Blackbird Designs. I'm pretty sure the next time Katie, the novel stitcher, does the floss tube, she's going to have a finish on this. She was like over in this area right here. That was all there was left to do. I do plan, I'm saving this satin stitch until the end, and then I am going to watch Nicola Parkman of Hands Across the Sea with her Miss Parkman's Needlework Academy. I'm just blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I take that very serious, her Needlework Academy. It is one of the greatest gifts to our community someone can do. So this is being stitched on a 36 count flannel flower by Fox and Rabbit. I'm using the called for overdyed floss. And let's see where, oh boy, well, we sure do have the threads. I can't apologize for those, they're just part of me. But I did get that flower finished. Maybe I had it finished last time. This one has just really had some happy hour stitching. Oh, I know, I got all these windows in. I've started down here. The house is finished. So that is Oh Joyous Day. So hopefully you should see. I've only worked on it 2 days so far this month of August. With the next floss tube, we should be able to see a little more. But that's Oh Joyous Day by Blackbird Designs. Okay, and that is my focus piece. So it will get 7 days of the month until it is complete. Okay. My next sampler is Tirchi, and Girchi by Modern Folk Embroidery. I started this at Stitch North. It is stitched on a 36 count speculoos. And I'm using the call for DMC. And I don't have the hashtag, but there is, I will run it below for Girchi to celebrate all the wonderful cross stitch that she has done. She has been diagnosed with ALS, and she is a wonderful supporter of my floss tube, and I'm sure many others. And so that is why I chose this piece to do. So this is my progress, and I'm very happy with it. With my dangling thread. So I completed I completed the entire third row. And you know, there are some stitches, there are some things there that are ghosted. And then I've started down into the fourth one. Look at those. Oh my gosh, I just love them. This is a big piece, and it's on a big piece of fabric. But it is so much fun to stitch on. So I will give it a little more time this afternoon. And that will be its third day in this rotation. So that is Tirchi and Girchi by Modern Folk Embroidery. And it is in a bag made by me that has my blessing sampler on it. That is a GGR piece. I think it's Ellen Johnson. So, okay. You know, it's not hot. I'm warm right now, and I think that's why I'm drinking so much. It's not hot. It's only like probably high 80s, maybe 90. But the way we have our air conditioner set up, it doesn't come on when it's this kind of day. So it gets a little warm in here. Not when you're sitting in front of fans, but I don't want to have the fans blaring while we're trying to do this. Okay, then the next sampler that I worked on was the Smith sampler by the Scarlet House. If you hear any random noise, my hardworking husband just came in to hydrate, I hope. And I am stitching this on a 36 count cottage stone by Color and Cotton, and I'm using the called for silks. This was kitted up at the attic in February of 2022. And this is my progress. So this was 3 days. And I got a lot more of the border done going down the side. I have done a lot on this here. I mean, this is finished. I got the cat in. I've been putting these flowers in, but really trying to stay up with the border. And I think I have made a firm decision that I've left this blank here, that I'm going to do it as Sheri did, Colorado Cross Stitcher, and I'm going to kind of fill it in like the border is filled in. I'll have to decide which colors and everything that I'm going to use, but I love those two. I guess they're little pink cats. But that is the Smith sampler by the Scarlet House. So it's just one of those conundrums that I love the 3 days. I love the progress that 3 days gives. But it's just a little hard to not be able to move amongst my whips. So, okay, the next piece is the Pennsylvania Christmas Deer. This was also a happy hour stitch. This is one that I just went on and on about last time when I started it, because it is on the Red Cedar, Cedar Red by, let's make sure we say it. Red Cedar is 36 count by Cedar River Linen and Designs. My friend Judy. Okay, and I am stitching using the Ecru by DMC. And so I stitched, I think this is what I stitched on in my Zoom. So I got one of these flowers finished, and then I started working up in here. So that's right, I did not do, this was not a happy hour stitch, it was my Zoom stitch. But I can never get over, when I hold this up in front of this monitor, how gorgeous this fabric is. So that's Pennsylvania Deer Sampler by Shakespeare's Peddler, Teresa Vanette. And it is in this gorgeous bag that I won, also from Sheri, Colorado Cross Stitcher, and it is by Becky Stevens of Cozy Old Quilts. So there's her information. Okay. Scoot that in. All right. The next whip is, it's Sarah Mil Thorp. And this is the chart by Hands Across the Sea. I am stitching it on a 36 count Cream Brulee by Tabby Cat. I'm using Vicki Clayton silks. Is that right? Am I using Vicki Clayton silks? No. Oh, no, this is the called for Soie because I got this at Sampler Symposium last year. So I was going to show you, last time I said that I had taken out all I had taken out the 1/1 that I had done, because I have learned from Angie, and many of you also commented about using a thinner thread for the 1/1. So I ordered 3 dark blues, and it seems to be the perfect match. And so it's the 103 a Versoix, and it's number 510, and it will be for, what did I do with the chart? Yeah, for this 1/1 here, and the 1/1 down here with her name. So I'm anxious now to start putting that in, so I don't have it all to do at the end. But I know sometimes it's hard to see. The border is done. The bones of the border, as Carol says, they're done, and they matched. I have worked on the house, the chimney. I put this whole piece in, and the border. Primarily, it got that border all the way around, so I have that done, and I have that to be anchors for pieces that I put in. So that is Sarah Mil Thorp, and I love working on her. She is such a joy, and I'm almost a little excited about doing the 1/1 with the 103, because I think it will look better than the silk was just a little fat for me, and it is in this absolutely gorgeous. This was a birthday present from my friend Steph, using one of the panels that Nicola makes. And look at that fabric on the back and the fabric inside. Oh, it's just beautiful. And I texted her this morning, and she is winging her way to summer school. And oh my gosh, you guys are going to all have so much fun. I'm so envious. And Jean, I'll miss you, but I just can't wait to hear all about it. So, okay. Then my next piece, this is my 2 threads a day. And you know, I'm going to actually show you guys. Maybe it wasn't always the best choice, but this is 2 threads a day. Do you see how long I've worked on that? I mean, this thing has a lot of stitches in it. Those are X's. That's 1 month, 2 months, 3, yeah, a lot. It is Summer at Cherry Hill by Brenda Gervais. But I think you'll see I'm sort of getting close. I'm stitching this on a 36 count Stars Hollow Blend by R&R. I'm using the called for overdyed. And this is what I have. So, all the flowers here are done. That's all done. I have pulled her dress down a little. You know who you are. I guess it's still a mini dress, but anyway, it's coming down. I'm getting this blocked off for the damn grass, and it will have little things in it. I think there is another bee either here or here, but most of the bees are in. Except there will be bees down here in this grass as well. So there's that. But anyway, I'm pretty excited because this side is looking pretty done. I just love it though. It never bothers me to stitch on this. So that's Summer at Cherry Hill that hopefully I'll have done. I'm sure I'll have done before the temperatures say summer is over where I live, but okay. And then next we have, this is this is a happy hour stitch, and this was Betsy's Spring Basket by Pansy Patch Quilts. and stitchery. And you guys know I'm very fond of her, and I encourage you to go and look and see her needlework market releases. That will be next weekend that those will be released. I'm sure a lot of you are pre-ordering. There is just so much. I'm honestly trying not to look, except that I watch Stephanie of Lindy Stitches, her FlossTubes. She does this recounting of what these, certainly of the things that she's bringing into her shop. And I know Abby, Top Knot Stitcher. Oh, I could go on. Sure. I mean, they're all working hard to have these available for us to pre-order. But she had several pieces that I was quite fond of. So I'm stitching this on a 36 count Ren by Picture This Plus, and I'm using a mixture of the overdyed floss and DMC. And if I held something up without a dangling thread, you'd probably all fall off your chairs. Anyway, so this is, I worked on these flowers. Do I have this right side up? Yes. No, I don't. There we go. Okay, I put all these flowers in right here. I'm bringing the basket handle around. This is something that really requires a lot of counting, especially when you've got all those moving parts. But it's so pretty. It's just so muted and just soft and feminine. I love it. And yes, it's on a huge piece of fabric. For those of you that love that. So that's Betsy Spring Basket by Pansy Patch Quilts and Stitchery. Okay, and then last but not least was another happy hour stitch. This was one that, I would just see something on a floss tube, and this is where I would just want to go grab a whip and work on it. And so I thought, well, the only way I can do it and stay on track is to do a happy hour stitch, and that is Eddie and Patsy. I love stitching on this. I love stitching on Roxy Flossco fabric and using Roxy Flossco floss, and then just reveling in Ellen's beautiful chart. So I'm stitching this on a 36 count Catnap by Roxy Flossco, and I'm using the called for Roxy Flossco flosses, overdyed, and I started this at Stitch North in 2024. So what I could do in a happy hour, I got the rest of the chest filled in here, and then all of this is new. So this corresponds to what's going to be the greenery around this flower right here. So how gorgeous is this? It really takes my breath away. So that's Eddie and Patsy by Maximum Cross Stitch. And it'll be my little happy hour fix. Okay, so those are my whips. Wow. Again, not as many as you're used to seeing, but that's okay. Now, the next thing that I want to do is I was just going to go through, and one of these we're going to open together, but some of the samplers that I was looking at, for Sampler September. Now, I've made my decisions, but there's some that are really floating to the top that I want to get started. So I just wanted to show those to you. And one is Miss Sarah Lockhart, 1842. I think I had always been a little afraid of this because I think there's something like either the dogs or the birds are 1/1, and I'm not afraid of that anymore. So Krista, I'm hoping to get this started very soon. I really haven't completely replaced a big red sampler. I am doing the Angel Armel that is also by Maximum Cross Stitch, but we got this also at Sampler Symposium a year ago from Dutch Treat Designs, the fabulous Claudia. So this is really looking like something that I might want to dive into. Oh, it is, well, it's just beautiful. Anyway, so speaking of Eddie and Patsy, I had purchased this, The Bird of Paradise, and this is by Leonora Craft. Also a reproduction sampler. Is really pulling at my heartstrings to start. The ES Spot motif, it just got knocked off to be one of my new starts in August and September. But I still would like to do this. This is by a female of Female World. Jan Hicks, Louise Chapeau, 1844. Now, when I read off the list of samplers that I'm going to be working on in August and September, one of them is Antonio Roselio Garcia, which is also by Jan Hicks Creates. I would like to think I would finish that one first before I start this, but I doubt that will happen because pulling it out, touching it, and actually looking at it, I really want to get it started. This was gifted to me by one of you, and it's Maria Finney, 1832, Adam and Eve's House by, it's by Shakespeare's Peddler. And I just think the colors in that are so unique. I wouldn't change a thing. I love it. I was just looking here. I don't know. This is looking very ghosty. I might change that to make it show up a little more. And then I'm going to pull this out with you. I haven't opened this up. This was something that I must have... It was a free chart, and it is Betsy Glover, 1837, by Hewitt Hill Samplers. And what I had done way back in 2020, before I even probably had met Brenda and Laura, I was just doing her. Before I met Kim, I had just pulled this off to do, but I was stitching it with DMC, and I think I just pulled the colors that I needed to do that woman. So they're here, like a 3, 4, 9. They're blues and peaches. They're really hard to show. And this was back before I knew anything about floss drops. I kept everything in floss away bags. And I think this is on, I don't know what the count is, but this is what I had done so far. Is that not a hoot? Now I'm going to be really honest. I don't know that I'll finish that. I can't tell. This is either a 28 or maybe a 32 count. And I was stitching 2/2, wasn't I? Yes, because I don't think I knew any better. I don't even think I knew about 1/2. But the sampler is so sweet and so beautiful. I mean, look at the border and those flowers. So, yeah. I'm kind of looking forward to pulling this out and fully kitting it up. And then I'll have this fabric left over because it's an even weave, I'm pretty sure. I think that's an even weave that I can do a lot of 1/1 on. So that's very exciting. But that is Betty Glover, 1837. It was from the collection of the Metropolitan Museum of Art. So that's the first time we looked at that together. That's the first time I have looked at that probably since 2020. And I don't think it ever got pulled out for a whip parade. But I just found it while I was looking around. So those are some of the samplers that I have that I've been looking at also to do because being in full sampler mode with the Sampler September coming up. So those were my whips, and so you kind of know my plan. So like I said, I will start. Oh, you don't know. And you know, I realized I didn't bring it, but I'm not going to go and get it. So tomorrow I'm going to start A Little Bit of Spring by Blackbird Designs. I have pulled the DMC floss. I think I have decided to do it on Overcast by I can put a picture of the chart in here. Overcast by Cedar River Linen and Designs, Judy, and so I will start that tomorrow and give that 3 days, and then I get to pick. That's the thing that I thought I would just lay it all out, but this way, among those 10 samplers that I wanted to work on, it'll be a surprise, you know, at least for those 3 days. So, okay. So that is, those are kind of the plans. And then I did want to show you guys and tell you about, I joined the Embroiderers Guild of America. And the chapter that I belong to is Vintage Stitchers, and they're out of Pleasanton, California. And so I got my welcome package, and so this is their probably a type of newsletter and a welcome and what they do. Look at that beautiful stitching. And then the magazine. I haven't had I just got this. I haven't had a chance to even look through it, but it's just got. Oh, it even has. Yeah, there's even some projects. Look at this dress. That was what's on the front. The red dress in the United States. Holy moly. So I got that, and then they send wonderful stickers, and they're vinyl, so I'm going to put at least one on my water bottle. And then this little tote bag that has the very appropriate Where Needle Art Lives. But the thing that I want to share with you guys, so I have been wanting to join a guild, and I know that I've mentioned that to you guys. And what came up was that there is going to be a retreat in November in Murphy's, California, which is literally 20 minutes from where I live. And this is the first time that I've had an opportunity to go to a retreat that obviously is so close to me. To sign up for that retreat, you needed to be a member of the guild and the local chapter that's putting this on. So that was just that little push that I needed to get that done. But here's what happened. So I joined, I did all the paperwork, and then I got an email from an organization called Grouper. And maybe some of you know about them, but they, I think, have teamed up with insurance companies. And for people over the age of 65, they consider, like the Embroiderers Guild of America, a social connection, as well as things that you do for exercise. And it's a little hard to exactly explain, but it's all laid out if you did join and then you get sent the email. Then they will send you a check initially for $50, and then a $20 check every 3 months that you're active. And by being active, it's just literally you go to their site and you check the month that you were active. And I know I am active at other social events, obviously with For the Love of Stitches, the Zoom calls, and I am active because I walk my dog every day. So here's what, as a doctor, a retired doctor, but here's what meant a lot to me, that it appears to me that the health industry is putting not only the premium on exercise, which I have talked to all of you about being so important, but socializing and being around people that, you know, with like desires and hobbies. And I just think that they've got something going there, and to reward that, it makes me very happy as a physician, looking at the whole person, not just the health of the person, not just the physical health of the person, because we all know that they are quite interlinked. So you might check into that if you're over 65 and you belong to another guild. I would suspect that happens with all of them. I don't know that, though. So I don't have any other purchases at this point in time, other than, again, some threads that I bought, the 103s that I bought to get one to match for the 1/1 on Sarah Mil Thorp. But so far, that's all that I have purchased for this FlossTube. So if you were new today, I hope you liked what you saw, and that you will subscribe and share and like and ring the bell and do all the things that we do on FlossTube. For everyone, thank you for all that you do for me, and know that I feel it, for all of your support for Eva, who is doing very well. You've been there for me, and it is appreciated. And I am looking forward to the next group of Zoom Stitchers. I will ask you, again, for those whose name was called, to go ahead and fill out the Google form. And I don't mind if you guys just go ahead and fill out the Google form. There's nothing to say that your name has to be called, because it is nice if I had a cancellation or someone couldn't make it, then I would have your email and I could send you the link and ask you to join. So I will continue to ask, if you don't mind, to put Zoom in a comment, and it could just be the word Zoom, so that I'll know that you're interested, and I will draw 10 names for next time. And I'm just hoping, again, to keep this going, to keep it growing. And I think we've got a lot of options with what we can do with it. But I want to try to meet as many of you for the first time as I can. And like I said, and watch it grow. So again, I want to remind everyone to continue to be the positive force, to continue to pray and give good thoughts and good vibes, and keep all of us in our community that need you, that you will keep them in your heart and thoughts, and in the world, because I think that we are a power to be reckoned with. So I think that I've covered everything on this massively messy table. So I'm going to ask you to grab your stitching, get comfortable, and stitch what you love. I love you all from the bottom of my heart. Bye-bye. Until next time.